Good morning to all of you. Today we are going to study the appendicular skeleton of human. Myself, Mr. Sachin Korde from Kikewag Institute of Pharmacy, Tanduri. Actually, skeleton is divided into the two parts. First one is axial, which is we saw in the earlier lectures. Now we are going to study the appendicular skeletons. Mostly in these appendicular skeletons, we are going to study the upper limb bones and lower limb bones. Generally, learning objective of this experiment is to enhance the intellectual skills as well as to enhance the motor skills. In this intellectual skills, to understand the proper positions of bones, to understand the structure and functions of bones. In the motor skills, to ability to recognize the different bones. This is the first part of our appendicular skeleton, that is the pectoral girdle. In this pectoral girdle, the scapula is coming. It is also referred as a shoulder blade, or it is a triangular flat bone. The scapula is located on the posterior aspects of the thorax. It possesses the two surfaces, the posterior and anterior. It possesses the three borders, upper and lateral and middle. Likewise, three borders exist in the scapula. This is the structures of our scapula. If you see this bone, it will be called as scapula. Now, clavicle, it is also known as the collar bones. It lies across the sternum to the acromion process of the scapula. It possesses the curved shaft with the two enlarged extremities. The sternum extremities of the clavicle is an expanded portion of the shaft which is covered with the cartilage and articulate with the corresponding facet of sternum. This joint is called as sternoclavicular joint. Acromial extremity is enlarged and flattened, articulate with the acromion forces of the scapula, and this joint is known as acromyoclavicular joint. It is a slender S-shaped bones with the two curves, like it is the S-shaped bones. Now we are going to see the clavicle. This is the structure of clavicle. It is also called as the shoulder or shoulder bones. Now upper limb. In this upper limb there is the humerus is coming. It is the longest bone of the upper limb and is also known as the arm bone. It extended from the shoulder to the elbow, and the humerus consists of an elongated cylindrical shaft which possesses the upper and lower extremities. The upper extremities of the humerus consist of the head. The head is a smooth hemispherical structure which articulate with the glenoid cavity of the scapula to form the ball and socket joint. Where the humerus is attached to the scapula, there is the one joint. That joint is called as ball and socket joint. The distal end of the humerus possesses the capitulum which articulating with the head of radius. At the distal end, it will be articulating with the radius, which is accommodating the radial fossa during the flexion movement. The ulna articulating the trochleus, which is a sponge-shaped surface located medial to the capitulum, and during flexed movement, the head of ulna is received coronoid fossa. This is the structure of our humerus. It will be articulating here is this scapula, and it will be articulating at the distal end with the radius. The radius is the next bone of our upper limbs. It is the lateral bones of the forearms lying on the thumb sides. It is also long bones with shafts and upper and lower extremities. The upper extremity is smaller than the lower extremities and consists of a head. The head possesses the depression on the top for articulations with the capitulum of the humerus, and circumferences of the head articulates with the radial notch of the ulna. The shaft is narrow and the sharp border of the shaft faces the ulna. This is the structure of our radius, and here is the structure of ulna. Here is our humerus which is articulating with the radius, and the ulna which is articulating with our radius. Ulna, it is located medial side of forearm. The bone is also long bone with the shaft and lower and upper extremity. It is longer than the radius, extended from the elbow joints to the wrist. The upper end of ulna expanded and possesses the large C-shaped curve called as a trochlear notch. The olecranon process of the ulna fits into the olecranon fossa of humerus. The coronoid process of ulna is the forward projection of the trochlear notch which fit into the coronoid fossa of humerus. The bone of wrist and hand. The wrist, which is also known as the carpus, consists of 8 bones arranged in a torus. These bones are known as carpus. Wrist bone, that is the carpus. There are the 8 bones and are irregular bones. These carpus are articulated with each other and are held in a position by the leg. These bones of palm of the hand are called as metacarpals, and the bone of palms is called as metacarpus. This metacarpus consists of a base and shaft and head. And the base of metacarpus articulating with the distal row of carpal bones, where the head articulates with the first row of phalanges. The finger bones is called as phalanges. Each finger except that thumb has 3 phalanges. These phalanges are articulated with each other by interphalangeal joint. These are the phalanges. Each bone having 3 phalanges except thumb. These are the metacarpus. There are the 5 metacarpus and these are the 8 carpals. Bones of pelvic girdle. The pelvic girdle typically consists of 2 hip bones on either side. These bones are known as the innominate bones or coxal bones. The pelvic girdle provides a strong support to the vertebral column. The pubic symphysis is the joints between the hip bones on anterior side. Moreover, the hip bones are attached to sacrum on the posterior side. The hip bones, it is the large irregular flat bones. It is made up of 3 different parts. These parts are actually separated by cartilage in childhood but fused together during the adulthood. This innominate bones is divided into the upper expanded flat part is called as ilium. It will be divided into the 3 parts: ilium, pubis and ischium. This is the ilium. Red part is denoted in the ilium, green ischium and yellow is pubis. Next one is the femur. It is known as the thigh bone. This is considerably longest and strongest bone of skeleton. These bones consist of a shaft and 2 extremities. The upper extremities of the shaft containing the head, neck and 2 truncated. Hemispherical shaped head is covered by the hyaline cartilage and it fits acetabulum of innominate bone, forming the ball and socket joint. The femur is articulating with the acetabulum of innominate bones and that can forms the ball and socket joints. Medial condyle and the lateral condyle are present on the lower extremities of the shaft. On the posterior side, in between 2 condyles is located the intercondylar fossa, which articulate with the corresponding tuberosities of the tibia to form the knee joint. This is the structure of our femur. It is the head, shaft and medial concha. Patella. The patella, also known as the kneecap, is a flat rounded triangular bone which articulate with the femur thigh bones and covers and protect the anterior articular surface of the knee joint. The patella is the sesamoid bones, roughly triangular in shape with the apex of the patella facing downward. The apex is the most inferior part of the patella. It is pointed in a shape and gives the attachment to the patellar ligament. The tendons of the quadriceps femoris muscles attaches to the base of the patella. Next bone is the tibia, also known as the shine bone or shank bone. As that other long bones, it is also consists of a shaft, upper and lower extremities. Tibia is located medial side of leg. The head of tibia is composed of the medial and lateral condyles, each articulate with the corresponding condyles of the femur. Shaft is triangular in a shape. Lower condyle articular fact for the head of the tibia. It is the structure of our tibia. Here is the fibula. Fibula, it is located on the lateral side of leg, lying parallel to the tibia. The upper extremities or head is expanded and possesses the facet of articulations with the lateral condyle of the tibia. Proximal bone of foot is made up of tarsus and actually group of 7. The intermediate portions of the skeleton of foot is made up of metatarsus, which consists of 7 metatarsus. The distal portion of the skeleton of foot is made up of phalanges that are arranged in 3 rows. The foot has only 2 phalanges. Thank you so much, guys.